Hi, I'm Dan Woods from Socotra. This is my colleague, Akine. As you've seen, there's a lot of really amazing things happening with insurer tech. And what really needs to happen is the insurance IT stack needs to move forward as a whole. We've seen great apps, we've seen great data sources. But we're not going to really see all the advances until the core legacy systems catch up as well. And I think that this is the biggest untalked about problem in the industry. There needs to be a platform, a core cloud-based modern platform for solving this, something that's open, something that's productized, and this is Socotra. You don't have to install Socotra, just create an account. You don't have to do upgrades, you don't have to do backups. Those things just happen. We've seen this in other domains for modern platforms, and it's time that this got into insurance. So, in terms of demonstrating, how do you demonstrate a core backend platform? I thought it'd be really cool is if we could define a product right here, interactively even. We'll configure it into Socotra, we'll push it live, we'll then underwrite a policy, and we'll share the login credentials so that all of you can try it as well. The product that I literally, as I'm standing here, don't even know what's going to be. So let's ensure something in the room right now. Let's do something, something that we have on us. Let's do some kind of personal items. We're logged in here with a completely fresh instance, just like what's created when we create an instance like we do all the time for people to evaluate. Akine is logging in, and we're going to ensure some personal items. So someone just hold up an item, something we'd like to ensure. All right, I'm going to ensure your lanyard. Oh, I see a tablet. All right, we're going to ensure a tablet. There we are. What could happen to the tablet? First off, what we're seeing here, this is the configuration screen. If we look under the products there, we can see that there are 3 products already. This is great. Now we have, we're going to get it configured even faster. We're going to add a personal items policy. We're going to have an exposure. Those would be a multi-exposure, multi-peril policy. And we're going to have a tablet. And what could happen to it? It could get stolen. Let's do theft. Let's do another item. I see a purse. We'll do a purse next. All under the personal items policy. Personal items, this will be a purse. Let's do something, I want a policy product that we've never seen before. So let's say it's, you've forgotten in a cab. We forgot it in a taxi. Let's make a peril just for that. And then, let's say another thing that could happen to the purse is it got lost at DIA 2018. Great. So now we've done that. It's gone ahead. We have a new insurance product here. And all the configuration items are there. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. But let's dive into those exposures. We see the 2 exposures that we just created. Let's take a look at that purse, and let's take a look at the loss at DIA. And we can see there some parameters around it. So we have deductible limits, things like that. Akine, if you could put something there that's a little more realistic. It throws in some nominal values here. This is maybe for insuring something much bigger, given the size of them. But looks like the indemnity limits we'll set later, the deductible set to 100. But now it still doesn't even know anything about it. It doesn't know what a purse is. It's just a word as far as Socotra is concerned. So let's ask something meaningful. Let's go down to the policy and ask some meaningful questions. This is all JSON, open file formats described on our website. And here, let's ask how much cash that the customer typically carries. So what Akine is doing there is creating a variable, cash carried. This is the question that will appear in the UI to prompt it. And it's a currency, so we'll give it 2 decimal places, and let's make it required. So make it non-optional. Now, that's nice to ask the question, but let's actually use that information somewhere. So I guess what we'll do next is we'll look at some of the underwriting guidelines, and there's some nominal rule here. We'll make another rule to say that let's reject the policy if they typically carry more than 1,000 euro. That seems like a bit much. So we'll set the policy variable of cash carried. We'll determine that if that variable is more than 1,000, we're going to reject the policy, and it's going to give some kind of a useful note. Great. So with that, finally, we may be from San Francisco, but we're not in San Francisco right now. So let's go ahead and switch this to operate in euros and set it to an appropriate time zone. And then I think we'll be ready to push this live and go ahead and underwrite a policy. Incidentally, we set up a URL for this. It doesn't work yet because we haven't pushed it live yet. But if you go to socotra.com/GIA2018, the password is a fictitious user. You'll see in a moment. Alice Lee, alice.lee, all lowercase, and the password is Socotra, all lowercase. So we're pushing it live. While that's happening, I'll point out because all of these configuration files are text-based, all of your DevOps tooling works, Git flow works, all these things have been developed over the last decade. Teams can work on things simultaneously. You can create development environments, staging, production environments using all the rigor of any software development process. We are bringing this to insurance. So there's Alice Lee, and we're logging in. You can follow along if you like. And let's create a policy. All right, go ahead and create a policy holder for us. The fields that you're seeing here are defined in the same way as the ones that you saw us add a moment ago. Go to socotra.com, click documentation. It's all right there. Insurers interested in working with us can get valuation licenses to do this themselves. All right, let's create that personal items policy. And nominal fields here, let's go ahead and it's going to ask for cash carried because we did set that to required. And let's go ahead and add an exposure to it. Here are two exposures. Let's start with a tablet. Great. It's asking some nominal questions there. We can change those to whatever. It just says, here's the drop-down, here's the numeric. Let's add another tablet. Great. Let's go ahead and add a purse. And there's the apparel that we configured. All right. There's the purse. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at that loss in DIA. And set the indemnity limits. Here, remove those, so they're not set. We have to do that ourselves. There's the deductible we set. All right, save and close, price. Now, in this case, we are going to see it reject because there's too much money, but if you go back, it will go through. But we're going to go ahead and save that for you, as I believe the music's about to cue. Oh. Do you have time to do it? All right. Come visit us later.